Hi, my name is Amalia Moscoso. I am a quantum healer and alignment guide. And my relationship with plant medicine has been a beautiful journey of weaving the quantum field with the spirit of the medicine. The different medicines have taught me so many different things about the field and have taken me through how to work with the wisdom of the plants and weave them with the understanding of myself and how I project conditioned beliefs, or how I've learned what stories are embedded into my body and into my nervous system. And so I have learned how to create and grow and heal with very specific intention when I come and sit at the altar of my teachers with the plant medicines or earth medicines. And through that process, I have learned the ways in which are the most supportive in working with the plant medicines. A lot of people are in search of answers. They are seeking aspects to themselves. They are seeking answers to their future. And that is completely understandable. That is how I started with it. But I quickly learned that sometimes the answers don't come in linear form. And a lot of times, if we need to learn discernment, the medicine is going to play trickery with us. And that's how we learn how to discern what is right and what is wrong, what is for our highest potential, what is for our highest and greatest good. And so it's within that space that I learned how to navigate and decode information by way of really tuning inwards and remembering that I am the medicine. You are the medicine. The answers are within. And plant and earth medicines are very helpful in actuality, doubling down on that understanding. They will show you how you have all the answers if you show up with humility and surrender to the teachings that the medicine has for you. And for me, what I've learned is that the intention is the most important part. And there's many ways to tune into what your intention is. A lot of times the ego wants to have the answers and know it all, and essentially wants a cheat code to what they need to be doing. And so the medicine doesn't always communicate in that way. And so what I've come to understand through working with a lot of clients, sitting in many ceremonies and doing my own personal work, is that when the intention comes from the heart and it comes from the process in which you're in with your own healing and your own understanding, there is an aspect of humility in that. And when we meet the plants and the earth medicines with humility, it comes way deeper, way clearer, way further than what we could even expect. And we begin to build a relationship with the medicine, whereas we start moving away from depending on it for all the answers and more like incorporating it as an ingredient in the cookie dough, right? And so with that intention, I created this content for you to support you in your preparation process. The first series of meditations are to bring you in to your intention. And your intention can come from different places in the body and in the emotions and in the mind, and really observing what comes up for you in this process. I also invite you to sit in nature when you are coming into this space within yourself, whether it's with the meditations or in addition to separately, really sitting with yourself in nature and allowing the wind, the earth, sitting by a body of water and allowing the water to speak with you. That's kind of like the next level of really tuning in, but within, if that makes sense. And then the integration process is really about taking all of the teachings and understandings that you received in your ceremony or in your retreat and beginning to look at how you can integrate them into a new way of being, how you can integrate them into steps towards your goals. And the goals I always love to set with an intention, because at the end of the day, your goals are going to require a big amount of will. And the nervous system feels more comfortable in the old way of being than in the unknown. It doesn't feel safe in the unknown. So that's when we start to come into contractions or resistance into the shift, into the transformation. And that's totally normal. In fact, it's somewhat important. I love using the metaphor of the butterfly, because when the butterfly flies, it doesn't flap its wings like this and soar. It actually has to contract in order to propel forward. And so when we're using the metaphor of transformation, we are metamorphosizing into this new way of being, and contraction is going to be part of the process so that we can look at what is not working in actuality. So when you come into a space where you are feeling yourself taking some steps back, instead of judging yourself or allowing that shame to creep in there, I invite you to really sit and look at it. Just sit with it and observe yourself and ask yourself, is this really working for me? And sometimes that's what the contraction is there for. It is there to be a teacher to what is not working. And sometimes just that exercise in itself allows you to propel then 10 steps forward, because it's a reminder of why you stepped in this work to begin with. It just simply wasn't working. And so I invite the contractions to be the teacher, and using that information to double down on your why. And that why is going to fuel the will to reach the next phase of your state of being. And as you reach that next phase of your state of being, then you're moving into the embodiment process. And the embodiment process feels really good. It does. I'm not going to lie, because it's kind of that feeling of completion. It's that feeling of graduation, like, wow, I'm not that person anymore. And this is a new version of me. And the truth is that that version of you was always there. That version of you has been waiting for you. And so it's just a new introduction into being yourself in your most authentic creation of your own life. And with this content, I do recommend to purchase or upgrade into the Rising Ritual practice, which will really support you activating your intuitive gifts of feeling, listening, and visualizing, as well as Change Your Story, which is an activation that helps you rewire the brain. And it is really in the integration process that the rewiring is so important, because you may understand a lot that came through in the ceremony or in your process, in your journey. And so in order to really allow that shift, you have to rewire the part of your brain that believed the story that kept you in the old version of yourself. So this formulated process really takes you deep into the inner child that embedded that story in you, and allows you to shift that story into a new narrative. Thank you guys so much for doing this work. Thank you for being on your journey and for having the courage to face yourself. It is my favorite statement, or my favorite quote, that says, be the change that you want to see in the world. So I commend you for your sacred path. And I am here. If you have any questions, please leave them in the group chat. Even if we are not sitting together in ceremony, my heart is with you in your prayers. Aho.